So the people on the outside thought that the people on the inside had it pretty easy. Let's go check it out and see how easy they had it. On July 1st, 1876, the first 7 inmates entered the prison at Yuma and were locked into their new cells they had built themselves. Thus began the legend of the Yuma Territorial Prison. With a commanding view of the area and situated atop the prison's original water supply, the tower is a reconstruction of one of the many towers which overlook the prison. Too bad out today, only 98 degrees at 11 o'clock. I bet you when the prison was in operation in the 1880s, this thing right here probably wasn't here. That's the original sallyport. So the doors were big enough for a horse and carriage to come through, and then they would stop here, and then the original door is this big. From here to where I'm on my knees, and I couldn't fit through this door. The Tombstone Collection. Wyatt Earp. Let's check it out. You might wonder why Wyatt Earp's stuff is here, because when Wyatt Earp was in Tombstone, a lot of the people that he arrested and stuff ended up here in this Yuma prison, because it was the only fortified prison around. The escape section. The town of Yuma lost its high school in 1910, so they converted this prison into a high school for a short period of time. That would be an interesting place to go to high school. Love to see that yearbook. Gatling gun. Pretty sweet. One of the guards at the prison. He looks like he means business. Back this direction, they got a little movie theater that tells you about the prison. It's a little dark in there, so I don't think the camera's gonna work. Leslie was the only man who compared to Doc Holliday's blinding speed and accuracy with the 6-gun, according to Wyatt Earp. That guy right there, just as fast than Doc Holliday. William Jordan Flake pioneered Arizona in 1877, was a Mormon, and in 1884 he was arrested for unlawful plural marriage. While many fled to Mexico to avoid prosecution, Flake challenged the Edmunds Act, calling it a mockery and a travesty of justice. But he went to prison, so I guess he lost. Barney Riggs, sentenced to life for killing a man who was involved with his wife, rescued Superintendent Gates from certain death during the Gates riots, pardoned by the governor December 31st, 1887. You know, it's funny, people who have never been to prison or worked in prison really don't understand when they say a prison is soft or easy. This prison here, back in the 1880s, was said by the outsiders to be a kind of like a soft Martha Stewart kind of prison. And a few of the reasons was it had a 2,000 book library, it had 3 toilets, so it had indoor plumbing, and it also had electricity. So the people on the outside thought that the people on the inside had it pretty easy. Let's go check it out and see how easy they had it. Not really so sure having a prison in the middle of the desert in the 1880s was really that easy. Top temperatures reaching 118 degrees. Could you imagine being in one of these cells? No air conditioning, no ventilation really, just 118 degrees, and then you have this little, which I will show you in a little bit, this little cup where you could use to go to the bathroom, and there were 6 people per cell. That's right, I said 6 people per cell. So everybody went to the bathroom in the same bowl, and then they emptied it out once a day. Yeah, it must have been a real easy life here at the Yuma prison. And then throw 6 people inside of here. During the time while this prison was in use, they incarcerated over 3,000 men and, believe it or not, 29 women. Prison design and construction never completed the women's portion of the prison. So when those 29 women arrived over the next 30 years, it caused a lot of chaos here. You could imagine it probably caused a little bit of chaos to have those women with all these men in this prison. There's a bat in there. Yeah, there's a bat. This is where you did not want to go. This is the dark cell. And yes, it was solitary confinement. It is unbelievably nasty in there. It's absolutely pitch dark. I'm going to try to take the camera in there for just a minute. They had a lady, I heard, that came and wanted to film in here. And she said that they could lock her in for the night and she would stay inside of the old solitary confinement area. Guess how long she lasted? She lasted 2.5 hours until she was nailing and hitting that door and wanting to get out. When they got her out, they asked her why. She said she heard voices, she heard whispering. She was just going crazy inside there. Whether that's true or not, that lady will never, ever go back in there again. And she said she ain't never going back in there again. It is very airy in there. I'm going to take the camera in there. Let's see what we can do. But this is a horrible, horrible area to go into. They say one of the longest times spent inside of this solitary confinement was over 100 days. Can you imagine 100 days? Guys, we're going to see how well this does. We're going to go really slow and try to get this to adjust in the light. But you can see this. It's just all rock. And you go back into this direction here, which I'll keep going as slow as I possibly can to try to keep this camera on. But there are these, you can see it right here. This is what the original floor looked like, because there was a cage inside of here. And this is what they stood on. And this cage is very small. I'm not even liking it in here. The Apache Death Cave was nothing compared to this. But as you can see, it is very echoey, very small. And if they would have shut that door behind me inside of here, oh no. Let's try that again. All right, now we're on the rec yard. Oh yeah, another reason that they said this was kind of like, I don't know, the Ritz of prisons back in the 1880s and 90s, why this prison was opened, was because it had a hospital and it had a dental office in here. Let's figure out why they thought this prison was so soft in the late 1870s. It had electricity, it had a dental office, it had a medical office, it had 3 flushing toilets, and what else? It had, oh yeah, a library that housed over 2,000 books. And look at this spacious rec yard, right? Or the people who are on the other side of these huge walls living in Yuma at the time, yeah, they might have not had indoor plumbing, and yeah, they might have not had access to 2,000 books and a library, and yeah, they might not have had electricity, but I can guarantee they'd rather have been out there than been in here with these prisoners. The youngest person to serve time here was 14 years old, while the oldest person to serve time here was 88 years old. Could you imagine 14 years old? Five, 6, 7, 8 feet long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 6 feet wide. But I don't think I could lay my head to foot and not touch these walls this direction. I need you just to stay in here for like 3 or 4 minutes and experience. Again, today it's 98 degrees right now. It just passed 11 o'clock in the morning. I got the chain right here that they would be chained to. The old prison bell. Let's hear what it sounded like. Ooh, that's hot. Time to move, gentlemen.
Yes, keeping with the teaching of my religion, I married Lucy, and when Lucy's full and free consent, I accepted the 6 months.
So I'm gonna take you in there. 6 people to a cell, and this is separated. So this is actually 2 cells, and there's 6 people to each one of these cells with 3 on either one of these bunks. And the guy on top, if he rolls off, he's dead. All right. So the end of the cell. So you got 1 bunk. 2 bunks, and the guy way up on top. Then you come over on this side, you got 1 bunk, 2 bunks, 3 bunks, the guy down there in the bottom. And so you got 6 guys sharing this little bitty space. 6 guys sharing this little space with a little jar for all them to go to the bathroom in, and then it to be emptied once a day. Now that just wigged me out. They got this cell like on something that when you walk by it says, "Hey you, hey you, yeah I'm talking to you, I'm John Clay." And it's inside of this dark cell that you can't see inside. But they got a recording going on back here. It completely wigged me out. I'm here all by myself. Alright, my wife and son did not want to come in here today, so they keep texting me on the phone. I've been in here for a little over an hour. It's time for me to go. Oh, and there she is right there. Yeah, just give me a few minutes, I'll be out. Alright, give me about, I just want to take a picture of something inside of here real quick and I'll be out. Alright. See, I didn't even need to say anything. Already calling. My son has said, "That's it, it's time to go eat, Dad." Thanks for joining me on this episode of the Arizona Timeless Tours. If you haven't subscribed yet, I would ask that you would hit that subscribe button. It costs you absolutely nothing. It's absolutely free. Maybe leave a remark down in the bottom there. Let me know that you stopped by. Maybe hit a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. Thanks to everybody who has supported this channel. Until next time, take care.